Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down Bharti Airtel's latest financial results for the second quarter of 2025. Think of it as us decoding their corporate report card to see how they're really doing.
So, when we say report card for a huge telecom company, what does that even mean? Well, it's not some simple grade. We're talking about these incredibly detailed financial documents that they have to release publicly, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Here's how we're going to tackle this. We'll start with the big picture numbers, the headlines. Then we'll drill down into what's driving those numbers. After that, we'll check on the company's overall financial health, put one of its subsidiaries under the microscope, and then wrap it all up with the final bottom line. Okay, let's dive right in. To really get a grip on the results, we have to start with the source itself.
And this is it. This is the official financial result filing, the document submitted to the stock exchanges. This is where the company discloses its performance, and it's what we'll be decoding today.
All right, now for the two numbers everyone really wants to see: revenue and profit from the entire consolidated group.
For the quarter that ended on September 30th, 2025, Bharti Airtel's group's revenue from operations hit over 521 billion rupees. That is a truly massive number.
Now, a number that big is only part of the story, right? You need context. So if you look at the same period last year, they were at about 415 billion rupees. This year's 521 billion represents some really significant growth.
So revenue is looking strong, but what about the bottom line? How much are they actually keeping? Well, the profit for the quarter comes in at over 86 billion rupees.
And this chart really tells the story. Look at that jump. Last year, profit was around 41.5 billion. This year, it's more than doubled. That is a huge leap, the kind of performance that gets a lot of attention. So that begs the question, where is all that revenue actually being generated? Let's move on and see how this all breaks down.
Okay, this table gives us a simplified look. It's pretty clear that the core of the business is still mobile services in India. No huge surprise there. But look at mobile services in Africa. It's a major contributor. Plus, you have passive infrastructure and Airtel Business also bringing in some serious cash.
You know, a company's health isn't just about its earnings. To get the full picture, you really need to look at its balance sheet.
First off, let's quickly define a crucial term here, the debt-to-equity ratio. It might sound a bit technical, but all it really does is tell us how much debt a company is using to finance its assets compared to the money from its shareholders.
So, what's the key number here? Airtel's ratio is 0.82. Now, in the financial world, a ratio under 1 is generally considered pretty healthy. It basically means the company isn't relying too heavily on debt to fuel its operations.
And when we look at the balance sheet here, you can see the company's assets are comfortably larger than its liabilities. This just reinforces that they're in a solid financial position.
But remember, Bharti Airtel isn't just one single company. It's a whole group. So let's zoom in for a second and take a look at one of its subsidiaries.
We've also got the report card for Bharti Hexacom. This is a subsidiary that operates in very specific regions of India, and it's an interesting piece of the larger puzzle. For the same quarter, Hexacom posted revenue of over 23 billion rupees, so it's also showing some really steady performance and contributing to the group's overall numbers.
And yep, just like its parent company, we're seeing that consistent year-over-year growth here too. It definitely helps paint a picture of positive momentum across the entire group.
So after digging through all these reports, what's the final verdict? What are the main things you should take away from this corporate checkup?
In a nutshell, the reports paint a picture of a really healthy, growing company. You've got strong growth in both revenue and profit. The core business in India and Africa is clearly thriving. Their finances look solid with that manageable debt ratio. And key subsidiaries like Bharti Hexacom are also posting consistent growth. And all this leaves us with a final thought. With such strong growth in its primary markets, what is the next big frontier for a telecom giant like Airtel? Where do they focus their energy for future growth from here?